If you guys are on YouTube, welcome. Wishing you guys an amazing Friday. Hope you had a great week. And we want to welcome you guys back to another episode of Lucas, Tigers, and Bronze. Oh my. And I'm really excited for today's show. I have a ton of things to say. I have a lot of personal opinions as well. And we'll get into it. We have a really special guest, Brett Whiteley from the Panini digital team, talking about kind of the first of its kind, releasing NBA Prizm on digital instead of retail and hobby first. Retail and hobby still coming, guys. So don't, get your panties in a bunch and send us a bunch of mean DMs. It's coming. But let's talk about today, and I hope with an open mind. What's up, Luis Molina? With an open mind of what are the benefits? What are the cons? What impact is this going to have on the hobby? But before we do that, I want to give a shout out to my guys at Bleecker Trading. Why am I pointing to the wrong side? Bleecker Trading. So if you guys are in New York City next week, right? It's NFT NYC next week. Guys, stop by West Village. Get a slice of pizza. Stop by the store. I know a lot of people, they have good pizza. A lot of people are coming to town to New York City. They have Don Diego's event. I think it's Tuesday. Don't quote me on that. New York City is going to be popping next week. So I'm saying if you're here for NYC, if you're passing through the NFT event, if you're just in town, stop by Bleecker. You're going to have an amazing time. You could shoot them a DM on Instagram. My guy Jacob, Christian, Zablo, the whole team, man, they're amazing. They'll take care of you. So, without further ado, Cage, when you saw Panini's releasing NBA Prizm on digital first, give me your first reactions. Before we're going to bring Brett on in just a few minutes here, but let's set the tone.
Open your mind. That was great, man. You had your open mind. Keep your mind open. Open your mind. I'm waiting for Quato to pop up.
Well, you don't even know I say that because about. Cage. Is that a movie quote?
Yes, of course.
Oh, nice.
It's all movie quotes. It's all movie quotes. If somebody in the chat wants to tell me, open your mind, and then Quato kind of just shows up, boom. If somebody in the chat in YouTube tell me what that is, I'll give you a big thumbs up and you get a big smile from the Cage. So was I excited? Hell yeah, man. I know you were excited. Almost every chat room where we can't use it, you can't say all of them, but almost every Instagram group we're in, almost every, group text that we're in, it was something that was screenshot and they go, Quaid. I am not Hauser. I am Quaid. Mount Rushmore gets it. I am not Hauser. I am Quaid. You got it. It's the Total Recall. Total Recall. They got it. They're all on it.
Total Recall. Total
Recall. They got it.
I thought Doug was talking about my Total Recall abilities, so I could remember. Sorry.
It was the movie Total Recall. Well done. Open your mind. So this was the talk of the town, man. This Panini news was the talk of the town because, for lack of a better way of saying it, this is their flagship, right? This is, Top Set Series 1. Panini has Prizm. Sure, they have other products. They have other things they release, but Prizm is the Panini product for the masses. It just is. It's now, you could say it's, 10 years, right? 2012, 2021, this is the 10th series of the product, right? It's their 10th anniversary. And what's amazing about it, right? I mean, obviously 10 years, but yeah, you count them out. This is the 10th time.
I didn't realize, but you're absolutely right.
And what's amazing about it is you talk about open mind. Talk about, going back to the future, right? It's digital. And we were all like, they're releasing digital first? I mean, that's amazing. This is what is more 2021 than that? Zuckerberg thinks he owns the word meta, Twitter.
Fun fact, if you guys look up the word meta, go in like the Google history origins, nobody used that word for thousands of years. Then in like the last 30 years, the chart goes insane. I wish I could invest in the word meta.
Well, buy meta stock, I guess.
Let me tell you guys something. All right.
Oh, here we go. Poor Brett. Brett, we'll get you on here soon, we promise.
we want to set the tone. So I got into this hobby, guys. You guys know the first real cards I bought. I mean, really, the first one were the Giannis Prizm base, ungraded, and I would send some in. But really, the first ones was Zion Prizm base. And what I did, I bought those cards for $50. This was last January, 2020. Took those cards. I went to a show and I sent them into PSA. And I got them back about 30 to 40 days later. Okay? Mm-hmm. Amazing. And I flipped them, right? So that $50 card became a $400 card, and I was able to color up. In today's current environment, right? We talk about these base cards. You open packs of Prizm. What do you do with all of those base cards? Even the rookies, even the Wisemans, even the Edwards. what are your options, right? Because you're sitting on what's considered a hit, but you have no way to really liquidate them. You have no way to make profit on them. You have no way to trade them in an accessible form, okay? With Panini Digital, you get the same card, but now you're able to speculate on your favorite rookies, right? They're not going to take away from traditional cards like Exquisite, Fleer, Row, all the beautiful cards that have come in the past. In my opinion, and I think there's a lot of people out there like me that like to speculate on rookies. Patrick Williams is my guy. I know he hurt his wrist. Gucci Onyewu, how do you say that guy? Precious,
Precious
Maxi.
Achiuwa.
Yeah, Maxi, whoever it is, we like to speculate. But in today's current climate, I think it's really difficult to do so. So with digital, you get the exact same looking card, but it's already on a marketplace where you could easily sell, buy, liquidate, and exchange with other people like you. And that's all it is, guys. It's just an opportunity for those base Prizm and silvers to kind of make some bets, so to speak, into the NBA. And I want you guys to possibly, if I did a good job explaining it, listen to today's episode with and mindset instead of or. It's not digital or tangible cards. It's digital and tangible. And they both have a place in this world.
And what's cool about Panini, let me go through a little list here, right? Number one, it's the same card, right? It's the same card, only numbered. Your bases are numbered. Your silvers are numbered, right? Same card, numbered. 2, you don't need to leave it in a 5,000 count box in your basement. It's not taking up room, getting your wife, significant other, everybody else mad at you because you're cluttering up the space. 3, you don't need to buy a penny sleeve or a top loader. Although they do have those on the Dunk app. It's pretty funny. They actually have like digital card protectors. Really? Yeah. When you play a little game, you win like little card protectors and stuff like that. Ian loves it. My son loves it. But you don't have to buy top loaders. You don't have to buy, you don't have to worry about the condition of it. You don't have to worry about, safekeeping. You don't have to worry about sending it to PSA or another grading company and how long it's going to be to come back. And you don't have to worry about where you're liquidating it, for how much, can you liquidate it at all, and is it worth this $1, $2, $3 card? Is it worth my time? I don't have to go to the post office. I don't have to buy bubble wrap. I don't have to do any of this stuff. Instead, open a pack, put it right there on the market.
All that stuff doesn't add to the experience. All that is friction. And the question here is, why are we saying this to you guys? So first off, Cage, are we paid by Panini at all?
No, but we do have to make sure we say, I know I'll say for myself, I own a lot of Panini digital cards, right? I did not before a couple months ago, but when the Panini Prizm stuff came out, I did not get in initially. I wish I did, but I got in a little after most people did, and I think it's a cool product, and I think it's an and, right, not an or. I have not stopped buying tangible cards. Clearly, I've also continued to buy Top Shot, right? I have a great WNBA collection. Trust me, I got some pretty cool WNBA cards.
Skylar Higgins. Second, why are we talking about this? Why did I reach out to Brett? Why did I want to have them on, right? Panini team on. It's our responsibility, in my opinion, to shed a light on interesting things that are happening in the sports card hobby, provide the information, provide a little bit of our opinion, and then provide some of the opinions of the people behind the project. And then you guys that are listening, the thousands of people that listen daily, the 30 people we have on the live here, you guys make your own decisions. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But our responsibility isn't to pump or to do any of that stuff. It's to shed a light like a little microscope and say, hey, this is interesting. Do you think this benefits you? So, a few comments here from Hank Mardukas. Instant liquidity, no grading issues, no counterfeit issues, can bring it with you everywhere, numbered. You don't have to worry about shipping, Manny says. Don't need to be graded. I've already numerous times have an opinion that the grading companies aren't really grading cards. They're actually just limiting supply is the way I'd put it, especially when it comes to modern base Prizm. So did we set the tone? Any final words before we bring Brett on?
No, man. I think we got to talk about how this is. It's amazing that digital has come so far that the first release, the first time anybody saw what Prizm looked like is digital. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, let's do it. Let's bring on Brett.
Mr. Brett Whiteley.
Boom,
welcome back to the show. Obviously, we did an okay job the first time, so you didn't hate us. And our community loved having you on.
Oh man, you were like one of their favorites. Forget about it. They loved having you on.
So I'm curious if you could just give us like the high level, right? You know, we spoke about a month and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are. NBA Prizm is releasing on digital for the first time. Give us like the conversations, you know, in the boardrooms. How did you? This isn't an easy decision for a company to make, right? What went into it?
No, I mean, I think we see where the NFT space is going, where the digital space is going, and it's just something where, um, why not lead things off with, kind of the biggest Optichrome brand there is in the basketball market, as far as, and giving people that insight of it in our blockchain, in that space. There's not many companies out there that produce both a digital and physical asset together, hand in hand, that could even attempt to try to pull this off. And we definitely thought it was something where, man, if we could just go out live with this first and really give people a glimpse of the program, the product, ahead of time in that digital world. What does that do? What does that do to the marketplace? Nobody's ever tried it before. Nobody's done it before. And, that's kind of, it's revolutionary, really.
I agree. I mean, listen, it's also a little bit of a gamble, right? I mean, you're trying something that's never been done. That's always got a little bit of a risk to it. Clearly the Panini digital brand was successful. You guys sell out pretty quickly, but it pales in comparison to your digital moment competitor, Top Shot, or I don't know, call them competitor, and even more, it pales in comparison to your own tangible stuff, right? I mean, obviously the demand for the tangible cards far outweighs right now the digital assets. So I guess you run the risk of possibly, alienating some of the tangible fans who are like, yo, I'm supposed to get this like from my LCS, or I'm a distributor. I'm supposed to get a sell sheet so that I can sell to my stuff. That's supposed to show me what the Prizm brand looks like, what they look like, and get people excited for it. I'm not supposed to find out what the Prizm cards I'm going to be buying look like from a release from Panini about what your digital cards are going to be. And the assumption right now, and I guess we could ask this right off the bat, the assumption is that what you've done by announcing this digital is also announced to the world what this year's tangible Prizm card is going to look like. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the designs you see for this digital release is the exact same design that's going to go out with our physical program. Not just that, but I mean, if you guys remember, typically built in within the programs, we try to mix and match some of the other brands that release around that time, some of the highly sought after inserts and stuff like that. So, I mean, built within this Prizm launch, not only are you going to see Prizm base cards, the basketball teams come up with a couple of great looking insert sets. One of them is called Prismatic, just looks phenomenal. There's also from Hoops, we brought back High Voltage.
Nice.
We got a lot of good feedback on that design last year, so we got a new design for that. There's another insert for Hoops this year called Jamtastic that's going to be have its own pack release. And then, of course, the Donruss Net Marbles are back. I think that's
nice.
That's definitely a fan favorite. Everybody loves comic books.
So Prismatic, is that going to be an insert in the tangible space as well, or that's just okay? So you're bringing over it's a new. Go ahead.
Every set that we use from in here is something that's going to go in the physical space and in the physical releases.
Wow.
Including, I don't know if you guys have seen, but there's 75 years of NBA. They released their top 75 players. So our basketball team has actually put together a cut across program that they're going to do throughout the year for the 75 years of the NBA. The first one will come out in Prizm. So we've actually taken that set, and that entire set for us is going to be used as challenge content throughout the season, to where weekly we're going to incorporate cards from that insert set. So if it's an insert set that the collecting community is going to think is going to be very collectible, it's going to be something you're going to want to check back weekly and make sure that you get the cards that you need to get in your account to get that as your reward card.
Love it. One suggestion: include the old stuff in the challenges. Reward the old people. Reward the meat. Now
before we go dive deeper, for the people listening, anything changing with the tangible releases?
Never say never, because depending on when the physical releases actually come out, There could be things that happen where our teams here decide they need to make a change to a players list, or even after we've released something digitally. I mean, once we release something, we're not going to go back and change it as far as on the blockchain, because it's there. It needs to live forever. So, when it comes to the physical stuff, though, if something comes out later than what we've released, those guys may go back and they may need to make a change per the leagues or something like that. But, for the most part, it's going to be as cut and paste the exact same as what our physical release is going to look like.
So we just got a question in the chat there from an account called Not Shy Way Vlogs, and he wants to know whether or not we can see maybe a Kaboom coming.
That'll be epic.
Kaboom's coming.
Whoa!
It's coming. Yeah. So
just slice
really
it right
cool
there.
So and I guess where even us and the collecting community as a whole, for the last and just talking NBA here, the 2021 season, because of timing restrictions and kind of as we've kind of built out the platform and stuff, we only got to see kind of one program's worth of releases.
Right.
I'm going to tell you, when it comes to the 21-22 season, you're going to see more than just Prizm as far as a base type program that we utilize. We have plans to incorporate 3, 4, possibly even 5 more base Panini brands or Panini branded things, like a Donruss Optic or a Mosaic, or select into collections and you'll see certain inserts like a Kaboom mixed in with stuff like that.
So, Brett, I have to ask, with that as the announcement, any fear on the part of Panini that you will oversaturate the market by putting out so many base type products? Right now it seems that the limited stuff you have out there, the demand is there. But if people know, okay, there's going to be, a new product every week, there's going to be, Prizm, Mosaic, Optic, all this stuff. Do you have any concern?
Not really myself, just because I think it's, the market's going to continue to grow as we can pull more and more people into it. And we get more content loaded in. I think it's just going to pull more and more eyes to it. We've talked about adding in features, some that are in works now, such as a gifting type feature. I know you were a big proponent of that, Cage.
I am.
It's in the works. It's coming.
Nice. All right.
And look, we're constantly listening to feedback from the collecting community, because we want to grow this platform out that is something everybody wants to be a part of. So, we're constantly adding in features, adding in, UI updates. We've recently been listed on Crypto Slam. I don't know if you guys saw that. So we're on Crypto Slam now, so you can kind of check there daily and see what the secondary marketplace is doing. So we're constantly trying to grow this and grow the market, and kind of like we talked about last time, we're going to make sure that we take those steps in the right direction so that the trend is constantly going up and we're not really having those big valleys.
Love it. And I mean, listen, you have the brands for it. Why not? That's the key. And I know people are excited. Where we say, we listen to our folks, we take feedback, we try to implement it, and Kaboom is coming. We might as well just let Brett leave now, because what's he supposed to say that's going to top all that stuff? What are you looking at? Nifty Kids?
Crypto Slam.
Crypto Slam. Yep. There you go. Crypto Slam. Be careful. Don't show anybody your secret passwords.
Yeah. What's that MetaMask address?
It's happened. It happened. But there you are, right there, Panini. That's amazing. Look at that. And right up on Crypto Slam.
Let me ask a few questions from our audience, and I also have my own thoughts on this, and I want to hear if I'm kind of barking up the right tree. So Doug Stillwell asks, why did Panini skip the 2020 National Treasures NFT release? He wanted a LaMelo logo, man. Don't we all? Or at least a chance to get him.
We had a 2020 NT. It was a digital physical pairing. It was the Dutch auction ones we do. He may be referring more to the bonus card programs. With the bonus card programs, in order to build out packs and stuff like that, we thought it was better to kind of bring some of that stuff more to, we did a kind of a year's worth of the bonus cards that tried to get some of those physical collectors into the digital space using the bonus cards, and try to put some more value in those boxes. Those have been put on a pause as we kind of build out packs, build out the website a little bit more, and we start to build out more digital pack products though for now. But I want to say the LaMelo had a 2020 NT logo man from the digital physical pairing though.
Cool. Let me tell you guys where I'm at on this. So take a guess. How many Luka Prizm PSA 10s are there out there? Either you, Brett, or Cage.
Wasn't the number like 6,000 or 7,000 at some point?
17,000. 17,000. Yeah. So okay, cool. How many Miles Bridges Prizm PSA 10s are there? Take a guess.
2,000, 3,000, 4,000.
259.
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, I come from, you guys remember Wall Street, market, economics. That's my first place. I hated it, but it was my first real experience understanding economics and all that stuff. So I come into this hobby. I understand there's those $1 million exquisite cards, Card Ladder. Josh, congrats on the sale. Incredible sale. Exquisite, beautiful. You have PMGs. Those cards are iconic. Those are artwork. Then we have Prizm Base, okay? That to me, as somebody who loves gambling and loves NBA and loves watching sports, to me, those are more speculative cards. And my frustration lies is, how do I compare these two assets? 2018, same draft class, right? I would say Miles Bridges was more well-known than Luka actually coming out. And you have 259 graded here, and you have 17,000 graded of Luka. How am I, as an investor, supposed to compare apples to apples when the supply isn't the same? The biggest, in my opinion, benefit of the NFT program of Panini Digital is the capped supply. You know exactly how many base are out there, 1799. You know how many silvers are out there, 149, exactly. And you know your serial number. To me, that's incredible because you don't need Panini. And Panini, Nat Turner said it the other day. He doesn't want to grade those lower tier base cards. He said it. Not every card needs to be graded. So they go the digital route where we already cap the supply, and now all we got to do is solve for demand. And for that small segment of the market who wants to color up, who wants to have an opportunity to turn 5 into 100, 100 into 1,000 so that they could afford those beautiful, amazing artwork pieces, to me, it's a no-brainer. I just don't understand the resistance. I can't even imagine that there is resistance.
So no, I mean, yeah. And it's something here with us too. Like, we're always going to be cognizant of supply. We're going to be cognizant of not going crazy with numberings and stuff like that, because you have to keep it collectible. You have to keep the, supply and demand, in the back of your mind. So, and I'll tell you guys with this release. So unlike last year, where for Prizm in particular basketball, we had every one of the base cards numbered to 1799. We're going to start utilizing more of like a tiered system. But this one is a little bit more all over the place, where you may see a handful of guys that are numbered to 2,000, but there's quite a few guys that are numbered way less than that. We've handpicked specific guys to short, and so we think it's going to even help that collecting community even more by just kind of making the certain aspects of it even more rare, that there's even that much more of a chase, and makes those cards even that much more collectible at this point.
So the base packs will have short print potential in them, in those base packs. So
you could get anything from guys numbered to 2,000 all the way down to, there's one guy that we have numbered to 100 as a base card.
Wow.
So it's almost similar to Select as a physical brand. Select's known for its 3-tier system. You've got tier 2s less than tier 3, where tier 3 typically in a hobby box you get 2 per box. We've kind of gone that route as it comes to the base set as a whole in these programs, where we want to kind of build that chase element in. And even within some of the parallel packs here, you're going to see chase mechanics built in. There's going to be non-guaranteed parallels that follow them. There's kind of to compound with the 75 years of the NBA. So our physical program is going to have a 75th anniversary diamond parallel number to 75. So we've taken that, we've utilized it in this, and there's a couple different packs that these are going to fall not at the pack level to where you're going to have to go for 2, 3, possibly 4 packs to try to get a hold of one. So we're starting to implement things like that into it that almost give it more of a physical pack feel that, you have to chase multiple packs to get certain parallels even. So we're going to continue to do things like that to kind of build more and more into these packs.
Love it.
So guys,
I mean, that's cool.
Drop us some questions. So we're going to wrap here with with Brett. Someone put Evan Mobley in here. So Evan Mobley, I think, is one that they're going to cap. Lou Dort. I'm not sure if these are people spamming, but if you guys go to the Panini America website and click on 2021 basketball, there's actually a checklist on the website,
Yes. Yeah.
So Hank Mardukas. Hank
Mardukas
Mardukas
to 750. Well, Hank Mardukas, he knows his stuff. I mean, the Duke. Jonathan the Duke Mardukas. You got the Duke. You got
Drop
the Duke.
any final questions you guys have here, because we're going to let Brett go. We're actually going to do a normal episode today. So, Cage, I don't know. Do you have a play ready?
My play is whatever it was is now buy this Panini when it comes out. Rookies at a 750. I mean, this is so. Listen, I'll ask you while nobody else is going there, Brett. And again, this is just you. To the extent you can answer, when you see Top Shot doing the numbers they're doing, and you see Panini is not. Midnight Run, Josh, you're the man. You got the Duke. Serrano's got the disc. So do you see that?
Brett's confused. We just throw movie quotes in the middle of these episodes. People like it.
It's a Robert De Niro movie. So Andrew always tells me slow and steady wins the race, right? And he always tells me, you build and you build and you build. And, we were in Top Shot, and we know a lot of people who got in Top Shot when they had that All-Star pack come out, and it was like, boom, and every moment was numbered to 40 billion, and then the thing kind of went like this, right? So I guess the question to you, and it's a leading question, is does Panini want to have it, go crazy, or is Panini purposely kind of looking for that slow and steady growth?
I'm personally all about slow and steady growth. I mean, because to me, you wanted to pump and go up big time at some point, but you got to walk before you can run. And I mean, we want to grow it to where it gets to that space, but we want to make sure that it organically gets to that space so that it isn't just your overnight pump and dump, that it gets pumped to the moon, it gets dumped, and nobody ever comes back, and all we're left with are people holding the bags at the end. We want everybody to be in this, that wants to be in it, that wants to be collectors, that are truly passionate about where NFTs are going, where the digital space is going. And, those are the people that we want in here, enjoying it and being a part of the experience day by day.
What Brett just described is literally what happened play by play on Top Shot. There were these guys pranksy dingling, and they didn't do anything wrong, but they made it out incredibly well. And then the people that came in February, they were all left holding $40,000 moments that are now $13. And so we've seen it play out. This is what we call a second mover's advantage. Even though Panini was the first mover last year, you guys were really one of the first on digital. It's kind of interesting to watch all this play out.
Our first release was in 2019. So we were at it, a good while before anybody else was really truly in the sports space. But it is something we'll grow it day by day, and it'll get there with time. And we want that organic growth, and we want people that want to be a part of the community. We're always listening for feedback, and we want to build a community that everybody wants to be a part of.
Last question, I don't actually want to go down this rabbit hole. What blockchain do you guys use and all that stuff? But I personally don't love the how it's linked to PayPal, right? Is that something that's just going to stay? It's just the reality PayPal is a payment processor. They make things easy. Or do you think some people are saying you're on Sawtooth blockchain?
That's the name of the private blockchain. It's a Hypertooth Sawtooth Hyperledger is the name of the blockchain system. No, so we have in the works. We're actually looking at a couple different vendors that are going to help us accept cryptocurrencies. And I've heard anywhere from 2 to 7 or 8 different cryptocurrencies that it could even transfer if this person wants to sell in Ethereum or they want to receive Ethereum for selling this card, but this person's account has Bitcoin. The Bitcoin could then, in a roundabout way, get transferred into Ethereum.
There's
I'm
like
not
there's like a swap function built into it
almost,
potentially as
yeah.
well.
That I guess there's vendors out there for that. I mean, that's way above my tech knowledge in the space. But we're looking at vendors that have that ability and looking to try to integrate those into the site. PayPal will probably stick around for a while just because the auction section of the site, because that cryptocurrency is constantly moving and adjusting in price. It's hard to have like auctions where people are constantly bidding and bidding and bidding, and all of a sudden somebody purchases something for what would be $20. Well, how does that convert when what their actual bid was 0.002 ETH or whatever at the time, where we think of it as in dollars. And then I know our tech teams brought up something about like in certain currencies you can only go below a certain level on the minimum. So there's a lot on that back end stuff that I'm still learning, but we are looking at accepting cryptocurrencies, and that's where the pack resales come in too, because we've seen the issues with PayPal and people being able to dispute charges. We don't want to add that feature in until we can have cryptocurrency, because with cryptocurrency, once that transaction is done, it's done.
Yep.
So that's where the pack selling will come into place. Will be whenever we can accept cryptocurrency.
Well, I mean, listen, for if anybody out there listening, if the auctions are the one that's creating the problem, doesn't mean you have to do it all at once. Roll out the cryptocurrency and the other payment processing for gallery buy it now type purchases and for pack resell, and then figure out the auction process. And maybe the auction process is once somebody wins the auction, they have the ability to pay in fiat, US dollar, whatever it may be, or the other options they can go use PayPal or another process, or they win it with PayPal, they can pay in PayPal or use the thing. I mean, it doesn't have to all be all done at once.
No.
You know what I mean? So
No, that's 100% the direction we're going. We're not worried about the auction section. The auction section is going to stay there. It'll almost be like the marketplace gets a third tab now that's like just cryptocurrency auctions. So because we want it implemented sooner rather than later.
Sweet.
Price
So
point
people happy to hear that.
Price point on new packs?
They'll be similar to what we saw back in June and July. Base packs are the same price, the $10 per base pack. You'll have your different parallel packs, anywhere from $15-$25 all the way up to $150, and then of course we'll end it with the gold vinyls, the 101s. Dutch auction those similar to last time. So you'll see a similar cadence as far as releases and price points, and the differences will be those parallel packs is where you'll start to see some of those chance type parallels and stuff like that hit within those.
I love it. And guys, we have a new show called Crypto Casuals where we could actually have Brett back on, and we could, because we do come from the traditional sports card space. Cage is a traditional sports card collector. I collected Terrell Davis and Brett Favre in the 90s. My mom gave all my cards away. I got back into it. I got into, I bought a few here, a few there, but then Zion base was my thing. And I feel for the people entering the hobby today because they can't do what I did. And my life is better financially because of what I had the opportunity to do. Buy Zion Prizm base, get them graded, get them back in a month, flip them, color up. I would, if you're a listener and you kind of are on the fence, I would give it a try. I would create an account and not even deposit $2 and just watch the market, see what it is, learn. That's the amazing thing about a lot of these platforms. You don't have to actually deposit money to learn. And then when you realize it's for you, you have that knowledge education. Brett, you're a legend. Love talking to you. Glad we've been able to kind of connect over these last few months and get to know each other a little bit better. Any final words before we let you go? Cage, we'll still riff if you got some time.
Yeah, of course.
No, I mean we're excited for the basketball season. Our stuff kind of getting back in the swing of things as we move on to a new sports season with that, and so just keep checking back into the website, and you'll see more and more stuff weekly.
I'm excited. I'm excited to see this is the new release. They're using digital to kind of announce this stuff out there. It's pretty cool. I mean, your first ability to buy some of this rookie class is going to be through digital. I'm sure that's going to bring a lot of attention to it. There's going to bring a lot more people in there. And while selfishly, I want to be able to buy 1 million packs. If I'm allowed to leave you with a suggestion, maybe limit it to 1 pack a person instead of 10. I don't know if I'm too late for that, but people buying 10. I love it. I'll buy 10, but I'd rather let 9 other people get those packs, and get more people into it. So just my own little thing.
We'll see.
Oh, cool. All right, your man, Brett. Thank you for coming in. Thanks, as always, answering all of our questions, not ducking a single thing, and you're, we appreciate you coming in and sharing the info with us. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Brett. Yeah, man,
fun.
a lot of fun. It's cool, it's cool to have, the ability to do that stuff, and I mean, think of a brand like Panini, right? That has competitors in Tops and a competitor now with this, this looming winter is coming Fanatics deal, it's like, what can we do at the wall, right? Candy only allowed 1 pack per person. It worked well. I mean, listen, Candy, you could say it worked well. I mean, I don't know what's better, a sellout in 3 minutes or logging onto Candy and being told your wait is 2 hours and 27 minutes, because that's what it was with Candy. Like, I don't want to spend my whole day waiting to buy a pack.
I think a lot of people don't realize with something new, the risk is also where the reward is, right? So like all of these companies are also trying to figure it out, not just talking about Panini or Top Shot or Candy individually. They are all trying to figure out the right way to roll things out, right? The right way to create a market. My mind went, oh, I just saw this play out in January. NBA Top Shot released Series 2. What happened to Series 1 prices? Is that not the same as last year's base, last year's Prizm to this year's? Could you see something similar?
Well, I mean, it sounds like Panini is learning from what Top Shot did, because part of what made the Top Shot Series 1 valuable or more valuable was not just that it was the first series. That'll always carry a premium, but they were more limited. Even the ones that were, higher produced, $39.99, which was like the highest Series 1, was less production count than the lowest Series 2. The rookies were at 4,000. There were some moments in Series 1 that were out of 1,000, 1,500, that kind of stuff. And those same players, their second card in Series 2, they were, they were out of 10,000, 7,500 if you were lucky. The most limited one, 7,500. And it sounds like what Panini is doing is actually going the other way, and that they're going to make the rookie cards more limited in Series 2, which is kind of cool. You know what I mean? It will mean part of it is a negative, what you say, right? Like, Luka's rookie, there's 18,000 of them, whereas Miles Bridges, there's 250 of them. But now a Luka base Prizm blockchain is going to be out of $17.99. Not a Luka, a LaMelo base rookie blockchain is going to be out of $17.99. But, Evan Mobley, Coutinho's cousin, is going to be...
Is that his cousin?
No, I just like saying that because I'm an
It might be.
I mean, I don't know. I just say it because it's Mobley. It's
probably brother.
I mean, what do I know? So anyway, that guy, he'd be out of $750 as opposed to the $17.99 from last year. So the Series 2 rookies might actually, Series 2, this year's rookies might actually carry a premium because of a lower production number. There's a lot of stuff to play out there. It really is. It's kind of cool. But yeah.
I want to answer this question. I want to hear your take on it too. So to me, definitions are really important. And I think when there's something new, you have a very general definition out there. So like, let me just read you the Google one. It's a NFT is a non-fungible token, is a unique and non-interchangeable unit of data stored on a digital ledger blockchain. Non-interchangeable is a very interesting word, right? Like what makes these non-interchangeable is just the different serial numbers because they actually look alike. To me, these are digital cards. The reason I say that is because they are on a central blockchain that only Panini has access to. right? So I have a sunburst behind. I don't know what this means, but you completely took me off my train of thought.
Talk about the mirror. Looks like a sunburst mirror thing.
I thought starburst. I got a little bit hungry. I was like, when's the last
I
time I had a starburst? And I was like, pink
the
and red.
quadratic equation. Starburst.
Yeah, like my mind went like the whole beautiful mind. But to me, the biggest difference is in NFT, you have entire control of it. It's yours in your own private wallet. You could send it somewhere in cold storage and not access it. You could list it on a public marketplace like OpenSea where millions of people can see it. This to me is just a digital card, okay? That's on a central blockchain of Panini that's closed off. That to me is the difference. That's what my difference of a digital card to NFT is. But again, this is so new. We're changing and evolving these definitions as we go. Any take?
So I like using definitions, right? And I think it's funny. There are certain things on OpenSea, which is clearly not centralized, that call themselves NFTs, but they're not NFTs. Right?
The last part is exactly what I was getting at. They're actually not transferable. But
so what I would say here is it's the word fungible that makes something an NFT. So it's token, they're all tokenized, right? On some form of token. Non-fungible versus fungible. That's the key, right? So fungible, what you're dealing with is not about centralized, non-centralized, you name it. Non-fungible, what it means is, are there two alike? Dollar bills is an interesting one, right? Because you can compare those to these digital cards or a Top Shot moment. Because while the moments are all the same, these digital cards are all the same, the dollar bills are all the same, that serial number gives you a potential argument that it is something that is non-fungible. They're different. No two are the same because of that serial number. They're not the same one. And trust me, the best argument for this is the person who owns the LeBron with a serial number of 23 will not transfer that for a LeBron with a serial number of 1,387, right? So it's not that the two are the same. When you have an NFT, let's say World of Women, right? World of Women.
Did you just have an iPad over there?
World of Women, right? Well, I gotta do my research, man, right? So World of Women. If World of Women, every single one of them is different. There's 10,000 of them. They're different traits, right? It is a non-fungible token, right? Because they're all different. It may be the difference of they're all the same, but one has a cigarette or one has purple hair going this way as opposed to this way. But the fact is they're all different. All 10,000 have different trait. They're not fungible. They're not something that can be interchangeable. However, every month World of Women airdrops an artist airdrop of a certain land. If you owned a night goddess, they have just the people who own night goddesses get this artscape. If you own a regular, human, you all get Mother Earth ones. You want a green one, it looks like the Hulk. You get the artist.
You might be losing people.
But here's the thing. Everybody who owns that type gets this, what people are calling NFT. And there's 1,000 of them or 1,500 of them. They're exactly the same. They are not NFTs because there's more than one of the same thing. You see them when you go on OpenSea and there are multiple of them for sale. One might even say that my most expensive NFT, the Twitter NFT, is really a semi-fungible token because they made 140 of them, 7 types, with 20 of each one. So all of the Jiggle that I own, I don't think you're ready for this Jiggle, but all of the Twitter Jiggle that I own one. There are 19 other people that own the exact same one. That's not, by definition, a non-fungible token. I don't believe. Because you can make an offer on any of the 20 of them. Somebody puts an offer on it, me or the other 19 can accept that offer because they're all the same. To me, it's that. I mean, and look, is it a cheap way out of making these things, digital cards, also NFTs because the serial number makes them different? Sure. But I still think black and white, it falls into the definition. Make sense?
Yes.
Good explanation.
I think what I do really well and is I take definitions from the world and then adapt them to how I see things. So to
Okay.
me, you got to do it because that's communication, right? Like we could say the same word but think different things. So to me, NFT, digital collectible, and digital card are the three categories. I break those down. Twitter, to me, is a digital collectible. Okay. There was like this thing Blake Jameson released with like a popcorn shooting out of, and it was all of them looked the same, but they had a serial number. Digital collectible. These to me are digital cards that are just uniquely serial numbered. And then World of Women art is an NFT. All unique, all non-fungible. That's where I go. That's the way I see the world. Let's talk about Ja Moran. Let me come on here and tell you guys I was wrong about him. Yeah, enter in some whatever music or whatever you guys do, like Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is coming back, by the way. All-time show. Yeah. I was wrong about Ja. I watched that entire game. By the way, guys, on Luca Nation, I just bought League Pass, and I'm kind of having this urge. So I'm thinking once a night or whenever I can, I'm going to do like kind of like a game of the night, and I'm just going to live tweet the whole game, telling you guys what I see about different players. So let me know. I did it for the Knicks game, and I think I crushed it. So let me know if you think that's a good idea or not. But Curry disappeared in the fourth quarter and in overtime. And Ja, even though he didn't score a lot, you can feel his presence.
Every play.
And I was surprised. That to me, that's an embarrassing loss for the Warriors, who they were up 19 points in that game. That was a back-to-back for the Grizzlies, flying from Portland, getting in late to let that game slip away. I earned a tremendous amount of respect for Ja after that game, because that's not an easy game. His team was down 19 points in the first half. They're coming off a back-to-back. I think this is the last game of their road trip. They could have easily mailed this game in, and he comes out with an incredible performance. Got to give the guy respect. Yes, Alex Stratton. He was like, stop, put some respect on Ja's name. I'm curious. I'll ask you a question. Who has a better career, Ja Moran or Russell Westbrook?
You're asking me?
Yeah, because
man, it's a very good comparison. I would go. If you ask me who I'm going to bet on right now, I'm going to go with Moran, just because we've seen the best of Westbrook, and I think that Moran could do more than what Westbrook did. That said, it's asking a lot. It really is. And it's I don't know if you thought of this example yourself. I don't know where it came from. It is a great example from athleticism. I
commented it on Black Jaded Wolf's post. You posted Ja Moran.
I compared these guys in a recent episode, saying that, that Ja's athletic. He's got the same type of stuff as Russell Westbrook, fills a stat sheet like him. And, people forget the seasons that Westbrook had, that he was just, the triple-double machine. And you're talking MVP, you're talking about like great seasons. And, if you're Ja Morant, that's what you have to aspire to be able to do that kind of stuff. But it never equated to championships. It never equated to, to team success. And I think it also may be a tall order, especially for Ja where he is, to expect team success from him too. So that is a great question. Like I say, investing now, I'd go with Ja, because I think there's a lot of upside there. And where Westbrook is now, if he wins the title, it's like, oh, so what? You joined LeBron and the rest of the All-Star squad to win. If he loses the title, it actually is a ding. Like, he's in a no-win situation in LA, Westbrook, I think. Because, like I said, if he wins, it's going to be one of these, like, yeah, who cares? Of course you won. If you lose, it's like, you couldn't even win with the best.
So I want to start a new narrative out there. And it's one that's, I think, impossible to measure, but I think it's one that we know when we see it. So yesterday, Aaron Rodgers playing the Arizona Cardinals, right? 7-0 Cardinals. With Devontae Adams is out. He led, I think it was a 9 or a 10-minute drive in the first quarter, right? Mm-hmm. And it kind of changed the momentum of a game, right? Sorry, I'm putting you to sleep, but this is really important.
Yeah. I ran out of soda, man. I got to go find some more caffeine.
Draymond Green.
Yep.
Not very talented player, not a great shooter. There's this term that I want to coin. It's called basketball IQ, football IQ, right? That isn't talked enough about, but that's what really, in my opinion, separates the good or great players from the elite. And I think Westbrook's issue is his basketball IQ. He is one of the dumbest decision makers on the court there have ever been in history. And I think we see that when we watch it. That's why we respect his stats, but I think that's why we've never given him maybe the credit that the stats deserve. It's because we see how poor his decision making is, right? And at the same time, I think that's what makes Clay so good. Clay could hardly dunk. He could hardly dunk before he had an Achilles and ACL injury. He's an incredible shooter. He's not super athletic, but his IQ of the game and knowing how to position himself on defense, how to move without the ball, all that stuff, that's wildly important. I think we don't talk about basketball or football or sport IQ more. I think we need to. And I think that's why Ja is significantly better than Russ, or has significantly higher potential than Russ. I think he's a better decision maker.
Your complaint about Ja was always, and I've watched a lot of his games also, and I'm still not going to say you're wrong about this. Your complaint about Ja was always he's athletic as heck, but eventually that slows down, and you have to have basketball skills. Not basketball IQ, basketball skills.
Correct.
And you said, I don't know that he's ever going to learn enough skills, do what Jordan did and create a jump shot and do all that stuff. I don't know whether he's ever going to need to do that.
Mid-range game, floater, three-pointer, catch and shoot guy.
Have you changed? Did watching his games think, you see this guy giving it all, his all out there on the court every night, and you think that's the kind of guy who will put in the time in the gym that needs to be put in to develop his game?
Yeah. His finishing around the rim, not dunking, but like his layups are way different. Like he did that up and under, and then to the left hand, like kind of using the rim to protect his layup. I do believe so. I do.
How about you used to say Jaren Jackson Jr. was the best player on the team? How about that?
I think I said most talented.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
But I might have said best. But no, Ja's the best.
Listen, I like the kid. And you know what's amazing about how sports works? It's that Ja is thriving at a time where the player he'll always be compared to for as long as they're in the league is injured and out, and his card values are tanking. Zion, right? It was always Zion. It was always look at Zion. He's going to be better. He's generational. He's going to be better than Ja. And now you have Ja lighting it up. I mean, through 5 games, putting up MVP numbers, but 5 games, who knows what winds up happening. But I mean, I think it's he can play. And you know what I like about him? Because anybody who listens to our show knows this. I don't invest in people just for talent. I invest in people who have that little extra something, right? The Tatis dance, right? The people who could be the face of the game. And Ja is somebody who every video game maker should want to have one of his plays leading off the advertisement, the commercial, him jumping over someone and missing a dunk, but still making it a cool looking card on Chronicles, He's the kind of guy who I think you can bank on. He's the kind of guy who I think is perfect, tailor-made for those clips, how we consume basketball now. Those fancy dunk, the alley-oops and that kind of stuff. It's less about the fundamentals.
So, Alex, just to touch on this, because I think about this a lot, but I always think about leading versus lagging measures, right? Like, you improve your efficiency, but improving efficiency is kind of like a metric that comes after you do something leading. So I think improving efficiency is developing a post game, right? When you get a smaller guy on you. Not many people in the league are smaller than Ja, but right, developing a 3-point shot, developing a mid-range game, improving your finishing at the rim. His efficiency has improved, but I always look at the leading measures. Are they putting in the work in the gym, et cetera, that kind of stuff. So, Cage, my play is interesting today. Like, I think this is going to happen all season. I said it before the season in the NBA season preview. I think this is going to be a great season to day trade or week-to-week trade, so to speak. Miles Bridges is a great example, right? Came out hot. He's playing incredibly well. And honestly, that's the LaMelo effect, right? You have guys that like LaMelo who just bring attention, good positive attention to a team, right? Like the Hornets are now fun. Jay-Z wants to go talk to LaMelo. Like that's going to trickle down and also get an opportunity for guys like Miles Bridges who perform, and now the spotlight's on that team. My play is don't hold on to your cards, especially these like lower end cards. Like be willing to let them go. Be willing to take profits because you're gonna have an opportunity to rebuy. Just to use Miles Bridges for an example, his Prizm PSA 10 was like $100 before the season. Now it's $200. Right? Yep. I have 18 of his Star Stock A's on Star Stock. I think they were like $2 before the season started. Now people are buying them for $8-9. don't get so attached to these, right? Because you're going to have a chance to rebuy them. Take your profits. There's going to be another guy that you didn't expect that blows up. Take a look at that. Like if you're looking to color up and make a few $100 here or there, take a look because there's going to be more guys. Like Garland might have a few games where he's going off, or Sexton. These guys are young. They're going to be flashes in the pan for 10 games, and they're going to have 4 games that are terrible. People are going to sell them. So don't be scared to sell at these prices. Take your profits. Interesting. Miles Bridges is tough to gauge prices because he doesn't have Panini autos too. Is that a joke about how him and LaMelo Ball have the same auto? So that's it. I think this is a good episode. A little bit different. We went live. We had Brett on.
Well, I haven't given my play yet.
Yeah, your iPad's going to give you all the answers.
I haven't given my play yet. It's not an iPad, man. It's a laptop. It's just a regular laptop.
No, nice.
It's not an iPad. It's a laptop. Sometimes I do work, but no, I have a play, and I have a play that I think, we could do a whole episode on this, and maybe we will dedicate an episode to this.
Hezzy says Miles Bridges has a Upper Deck exclusive auto. Thank you.
Yeah, he also signed all of LaMelo's cards. So it's a lot of fun. So a timely play. Maybe we could talk about this, right? But I love this. I love it. Right? 22 years, 762 home runs, 762 with a record 73 home runs in 1 year, 8 Gold Gloves.
Hank Aaron, Big Head Bonds. Yuck.
Indicted in 2007 on charges of perjury and obstruction of justice.
You saw him on the Ken Golden Live. Come on.
Forget about Ken Golden Live. What I saw was an announcement recently that we pay attention to in our hobby and in the content business that we're in. When ESPN does series about people, like The Last Dance about Michael Jordan, or the summer of Sosa and McGuire, the cards start to move, right? So I don't know whether you caught it or not, but Bonds already had a 10-episode series called Bonds on Bonds, but that was in 2006. Cards were not cards in 2006. But they never finished it, and obviously he was indicted. But ESPN's E60 announced November 7th, 9:30 p.m., Bonds.
Past my bedtime.
They're doing E60, right? So why are they doing this? It's his last year of eligibility for the Hall of Fame.
Pompers.
It's his last year, right? So it's an interesting thing, right? And are they? I mean, obviously they're intertwined, and I'm sure they're going to talk about that. I'd love to see whether or not Bonds is going to come out and say something in here like, an apology, a mea culpa, or just a screw you guys, put me in, don't put me in, I don't really care. But he's going to be talked about, not just in the next week, but now's the time, because people don't know about this E60 that's coming out in literally a week, November 7th. It hasn't really been publicized. Baseball's not doing a great job of publicizing it. Why would they? It's Barry Bonds. He's villain number one. There are records that they wish they could take away from him, I'm sure, because of how, what he did kind of tarnished the game is what they think. Personally, if you're asking me, I'm not a sports writer, but we'll get there one day. Maybe we'll get Hall of Fame votes because we're media.
We literally are sports writers, but we talk. We're sports talkers.
Yeah, somebody's got to write down what we say.
Kornheiser and Mike Wilbon.
I would vote for him.
Kornheiser and Mike Wilbon.
I'd vote for him to be in because he was one of the best players in the league before he ever turned himself into a giant-headed monster, taking whatever the hell he was taking. That exactly. But what's cool about it is, in addition to this, it's going to get people talking. It's going to get people on different sides of the equation talking about whether you should put him in the Hall of Fame, whether you didn't put him in the Hall of Fame, whether he should be excluded from the Hall of Fame, and people will talk, and that talk is going to last. It's going to last until next season. It's going to last until they do the vote, and who knows if he gets in? Who knows if he doesn't get in? And I'm here to tell you it doesn't really matter. I think people talking about him and the interest in him is going to start having those cards go up, and you can pick whichever one you like. It's not that costly, right? For high 2s, low 3s, you can get any of his 3 big 86 rookies in PSA 10, right? So what we're talking about here is the 86 tops traded, the 86 Fleer update, or the 86 Donruss The Rookies, which has got the cool Pirates hat, like a little like odd little Pirates, circle baseball cap that they used to wear in the 80s. That's a cool one. I like it. It's the least costly one, the most cost efficient is the Fleer one, which I happen to really like. The Fleer update. There's the Rookies one right up there. You can see it. Yep, that's it right there. You see the silly little Pirates hat with the little stripes on it? Yeah, that's it. Yep. And there's Gemman 10 up for auction. What is it, at $15, something like that?
Why does everyone say that he's a jerk?
I don't think he does. I don't think he does a lot of interviews. I don't think he was good to press. I don't think he was, somebody that a lot of people loved. I think he basically was like, I'm going out there, I'm doing my thing, and everyone should I don't care what anybody thinks. The 87 Topps, by the way, there you go. There's the Fleer, the blue border one with him with the yellow batting helmet on. That's the Topps traded, right? So there you go. This one will go for the most of the three, but there are still available ones in the high threes, of his Topps traded version. If you really want to go nuts, Tiffany ones will cost you, $7,000 or $8,000.
Tiffany your high school girlfriend?
No. And what's funny is they didn't even call it Tiffany. That's just a name that was given to it. That was not Topps did not call it Tiffany. It's really funny. And it was just sold in those factory sets. Like
can I give people the real play of the day?
Yeah.
Go to Google and type in Dwight Schrute Tiffany story.
Okay.
It is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. I think it's hilarious. Okay, just do
guys,
that.
Can I give a cage play on this? I don't know if it's ever going to be worth it, right? Because people are always about the mainstream. So the Topps traded is probably the safest play. Everybody knows Fleer and everybody knows Donruss, the rookies, but people don't realize this. I happen to love it, and you know what? It may not come out, in the wash to be the one that people chase, but you guys have heard me talk about it a lot. Sportflix. So if you want to pull up eBay, he has an 86 Sportflix. I think it's in a rookies set also. So what happened during the year, he would call up, sort of like update. And the regular sets, the 86 set didn't have him in it, but they did these. The rookies was Donruss. That was like the update set. Fleer had an update. Topps had a traded, rookies and traded.
How do you spell Sportflix?
SP. Just type in 1986 Barry Bonds. And you can type PSA 10 if you like. And it'll pop up. There won't be that many because 86, there's not a ton because he didn't have a mainstream flagship set. He was only in those update rookie. So you'll see Topps, you'll see Donruss, and you'll see Sportflix. And I like the Sportflix cards, man. They are a cool, different kind of, and much cheaper, guys. It's a much cheaper alternative because when people hear, Bonds is coming out, they're going to start looking. They'll look for Topps, and that's why the Topps is most expensive. There it is. So a really cool, you see Sportflix rookies, RKS.
Whoa, inside pitch here, huh?
So he probably, I don't know if he turned on that. I can't tell. But what's cool about this is, it'd be great if you had like videos of it. How much is it? Like in the 80s, $100, like $20.50. So this will be significantly less money because no one's searching for it. But this card, I have this fun thought that this type of card will be held out one day as like the initial, Top Shot moment, the initial like tangible digital, you name it, because if you move the card like this, Andrew, you'll see his whole swing.
That's no way.
Yeah, it's one of those, I forget what they call them. Like it's got like you can go make like a noise.
Hieroglyphics.
But, no, not hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics is what they write in caves. That's like an old written language, hieroglyphics. But I don't know what you call it. It's got a word. It's a word. Maybe someone in the chat can tell me what it's called. But basically, it's like multiple pictures, and as you move the lenticular, that's what it is. Lenticular. Somebody didn't get it. That's my vote for Luca Tire Community Pop. Buy Sportflix and manufacture them again. That would be sick. I don't know who owns Sportflix, but it's really cool. You talk about like how moments took the world by storm here. Those cards have a lenticular. Boom, to the moon. Yeah, exactly.
Whoever created the name lenticular might be
lenticular, but that's what, dude. I'm telling you. So if you buy that card, you catch the whole sweet Barry Bonds swing on the card, but just by moving it like this, it's like a hologram. Has the little like you move it like that.
I think
this was like pre-holograms. Anyway, it's just that's a cage fun play. That's gonna be a lot cheaper than the other ones. I don't think it will fly, but it's just one you're not gonna hear about anywhere else.
Yuck! I'm from the sports card community of 1945, and I want my cardboard card to be as boring as possible. So
this wasn't boring. I love Sportflix.
Yeah, I mean, dude, sometimes a hobby they confuse me. Like they're like they see something new coming out and they think it's like their job to like shit on it. Like someone's gonna take all their tangible cards.
Well, what's funny is what's new now wait for it. Wait in 20, 30, 40 years when people are looking back at digital or NFTs and they're like, oh my God, that was cutting edge. It's like, listen to this idiot here. Sportflix. Oh, that was so cutting edge. We used to go nuts for Upper Deck because it had a hologram on the back of the card that was like the size of a dime. It was so cutting edge. Now the whole card is chrome. Wait, what's new becomes old really quickly, guys. So.
Does that apply to me?
Yeah, you're getting old. No, dude, I'm old. Guys,
right.
we love you hanging out with us. We got a little Panini action on here. We got some plays. We had some fun. We thank you for sticking with us. And we love you.
I feel like we have a million announcements to make. My head can't even hold them all. I mean, Whatnot on Sunday mornings, that's a staple. Most of you guys already know about that. Join in.
Collectible Sunday night. Fractional
Collectible
report
Sunday night.
Going to do a dib show soon, like an NBA intro kind of dib show, right? We're going to be doing some
People are enjoying that. They're having fun ripping some packs, seeing what's good. All right, Luca Nation, we'll be back tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed this episode. A little bit different, but we try to bring you guys what we think is valuable. Again, make your own decisions. I think we're the one podcast out there that's not telling you do this, this sucks. It's like, try this, and make your own decisions. It's just their motto, And
it's important to say that because we both own those Panini digital cards, so we want to make sure you guys know that. When we say favorable stuff about it, we are telling you that I own a lot of that Panini digital stuff.
Yeah,
I am a believer.
I am the worst investor in human history. I've sold them all or most of the good ones 2 weeks ago.
Is that bad?
Well, I don't know. Maybe with this announcement, it stimulates the market again.
Maybe, or maybe you were right to cut your losses and get out before the whole thing tanks. You never know.
Nobody will ever say I don't cut my losses quickly.
You do. You cut your losses when you can.
I'm going to lose my way to the top. Guys, I battled through a week. I've had a cold this whole week. I don't even know if people noticed because still executed.
You caught America.
97%. It was like the cold, when seasons change and it's like here and you just have. So I haven't been feeling well, but you guys give me the energy and the courage to keep moving forward. Love you guys. We'll be back tomorrow.